We are back on Morning Line. We were talking during the break. Christie Wilson, real estate expert, with us this morning, taking your calls on the market here. Yeah, it's interesting. You know, when someone's buying or selling or building or whatever, the codes and the permits and the impact fees when you buy, any number of things come into play. But it's interesting in this marketplace and economy, a lot of these county and city governments don't have the staff.
You're exactly
what have you
right.
found on that?
I found
the waiting.
The waiting is excruciating. I mean, it can take up to 6 months to go through the process, to get permitting, approvals. I mean, there's so many approvals, and this is new construction. Yeah. You know, if you have to have a site plan approved, you have to have stormwater approved, all these pre-approvals before you can even move forward.
Yeah, to move.
So it is an exercise in patience, and the savvy guys, the guys who've been doing it, they know how to get it through. Right. But for someone who's wanting to do it, who's never done it before, it's an eye-opening experience. The amount of time, the fees. We were talking about that at the break. You're feed to death on everything. There's a fee for everything. Yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Are there any things that when you're buying a house sometimes that you have to wait, the waits are longer for whatever reason? Just inspections or anything like that? Well, inspection, so luckily we have a lot of good inspectors in Nashville, or Middle Tennessee. So it used to be you'd have to wait to get on the inspector's calendar. Right. But now the inspectors are pretty available. So what happens after an inspection though is the inspector finds stuff and they maybe want a heat and air guy to come in, or a structural person to come in, or electrician. So then you have to line those guys up. So then it just starts taking more time. I gotcha. But so radon is a big buzzword now, where houses, most people have a radon inspection. And I was talking to my radon mitigating company yesterday or the day before yesterday, and he is now scheduling in April. He's so far out. And so I had to like beg and plead. I'm like, wait, we've got a closing April 2nd. I know. I need it now. Yep. And I got a favor done and he got it in there. Well, that's the thing. That's the value of someone like you. You have relationships, and that counts for a lot sometimes. That's not you're looking for special favors, but every once in a while you're in a pinch, someone knows you, you've worked with them, and they'll do that. I mean, you know who has a ton of power? The guys that go out and perk land. Oh, wow. No, there's not a lot of them. Yeah, you're right. Now, do you know what perking is? It's like if you buy a piece of property, and I don't know, if you happen not to be on a city sewer system, you may be on the city or county water. That's fine. That's for your faucet and showers and all this. But a sewer system, that doesn't always go out to a lot of locations. Where I live in Mount Juliet, we have a system. Step system. So if you buy a piece of land, you have to have someone come out and test to see if the property can absorb sewage. There's a reason for that, so you don't have sewage floating around. Goodness. Yeah, it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. You have to do that. Now, do people sometimes have step systems in Davidson County still? They sure do. Okay. Wilson County has the most I've ever seen, probably. And of course, Wilson County is one big rock. So you can buy a huge lot of property there in Wilson County, and it may not perk. That's right. Because if it's all rock, there's no place for that sewage to be absorbed. They're not going to sign off on it for you. And Nick, in saying that, if anybody is out there looking for raw land to build on it, you really need a realtor unless you are proficient in doing that type of thing for that very reason. If you don't have the right stopgaps in your contract, contingent on it perking, contingent on being able to get proper permits, contingent on all the things. I mean, you may be buying someplace, and to get electricity to it, say the electric line is, I don't know, 2,000 feet away, how much more is that going to cost you in your budget to run electric to the house? Right. There's a lot of factors that you have to look at. And I know a lot of people have that dream, oh, I just want to buy 5 acres out in the middle of nowhere, be away from everything. But there's a lot more at play than just that 5 acres to be able to build a house on it. Yep. I mean, that's so true. You do a teepee. Yeah, no running water or electricity. Water. Yeah. But you can camp out nonstop. That's something to think about. Yeah, all of it comes into play. It sounds great until you start getting into the details. And then you just got, and you're right, a realtor can answer all those questions for you. So are people buying up those skinny houses? Yes. Really? So now again, those are, explain again, we've done several stories on them. They're cute, but they're not tiny houses. They're not tiny houses, no. But tiny houses, I've got a good tiny house story. Okay. So the tall and skinnies, usually what you see is a piece of property that had a duplex on it, or it already has that R zoning in Davidson County. So an R zoning allows for 1 or 2 homes on that property. Okay. Let's call it duplex zoning. Okay. You can't put more than 2. So they take down the one house, they put 2 in its place. And because typical lot in the city is a 50-foot wide lot. You've got 5-foot setbacks on the sides, plus you got to have that, you're going to have 10 in the middle. So right away, you've taken 20 feet away from your 50, you've got 30 feet, you've got 15-foot wide houses. Okay. Or is that 20 foot? 20 and 20 is 40. Yeah, that'd be 15. Yeah, right. So 15-foot houses. And that means they can go back a ways. Yeah. And they go up. And they go up. 2 to 3 stories.
I've not been in one. Now,
they're cute. I mean, there are now I always wonder, because I remember very well the tornado of 1998. I know y'all remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all right here.
Right, hit us.
They throw them up so fast. I just think, man, the next tornado, not to be a negative Nelly, but the next tornado that comes to town,
yep.
Are these matchsticks? I don't know. It'll be a test to the construction.
That's a good question.
Because they're tall.
So much better. They're tall and they're thin.
They're thin.
So how sturdy will they be?
Right.
What's it like inside there when you go in? I mean, I'm trying to think. 15 feet's not that wide, but they have bigger rooms. So it's all open.
So your kitchen and family room typically are on the back side of the house, and that'll open up to a patio or a deck.
Okay.
You come in through the front door. Oftentimes you may have a half bath or a downstairs or a bedroom and a full bath right there.
Okay.
And you go down a little hallway, and then it opens up, and it's really pretty. You know, there's windows.
Yeah, they look neat. The ones from the outside, they're cute.
Yeah,
exactly.
they're very cute. They're very cute. And if there was a good designer who put the cute, trendy things in right now, that is so appealing. And those are where I find the first time and the younger buyers are buying those tall and skinnies. I feel like the stuff in Germantown and the Gulch in downtown, that's a little bit more mature buyer. And you see both. I'm not trying to pigeonhole it either.
And what's the price point on those? Is it in keeping with everything else? And typically, how many square foot are they?
You're probably $350 to $550 in those areas like the Nations, East Nashville, Madison. You get a tall and skinny in Green Hills, you're at a different, 800
because of location.
Right.
But what you just said there sounds like a little more in the affordable realm compared to some of the other homes. But these are new. Yeah,
they're brand new. Get a builder warranty. As long as the builder adheres to his warranty.
Yeah.
Nothing to do in your research. Yeah, just make sure that warranty works.
God, that's another thing to think about. What about tiny home story?
Oh, so there is a development in Monteagle right now with little tiny homes to be built in this beautiful part. I'm going to go up there and take a look at it. I'm thinking about buying one.
In Monteagle?
Yeah. And a lot of people are Airbnb-ing them or having a little weekend home up in the mountains. And they are so I'll send you the link on it. It's so super cute.
It's going to be like a little neighborhood of it, or are they off to themselves like little mini cabin things?
It's a neighborhood, but you have a little bit of land there, whether you're on the lake or on the mountain or whatever. But I don't have all the details because I read the email. Yeah.
So what do they look like, or it's just what?
They're about 600 square feet.
Okay.
They're small. They're your kitchen, living area, and a bedroom and a bath.
Yep.
That's what it entails. And then you can have a big porch outside. Yeah. So for a weekend getaway,
that would be perfect. Now to live in one of those.
To live in full time, no.
Have you talked to people that have lived in them full time?
I haven't.
You have? Okay. I didn't know if you've sold any of those or anything like that. I just wonder how it ultimately works out if they end up killing each other.
Well,
because I'd be dead.
Two people. I remember my first house. My former husband and I bought. It was 775 square feet and 2 dogs, and we grew out quickly. We had one closet. It was, but you're 20 something.
That's why they're doing it. Is that the whole idea of now? How much do the tiny houses cost?
These are going to be right around 200 or less.
Okay, see, that's the appeal of it. People think, well, I'll get a tiny house somewhere, pay that, and then have money if you're younger and you're doing this, just travel or whatever, right?
But if you're a single person, and let's say you travel, a tiny house makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Because a condo somewhere is 600 to 800 square feet.
Right.
So if you want a little patch of land there, if you have a dog, and say you travel for a living, and so many people, especially the younger generation, they're so social. They want to go hang out at the coffee shop and do their work there. When I was before I was in real estate and I had a job where I was very mobile. Well, coffee shops weren't invented back then. It was so long ago. But I mean, I just worked out of my house, and that can get kind of, lonely, I guess. Right. So it's just a different way people work now.
All right, as we wrap things up, just in terms of the market, what's the interest rates right now on buying?
Interest rates are mid-4s.
Mid-4s. So they've gone up, they've inched up, right?
They actually have inched down.
Well, I thought would they?
I guess
at one point in the 3 realm or something like 3, 8? Okay.
Yeah, they were then. But
that was a while back.
That was probably a year or more back.
Okay.
So they've been in the 4s for most of 2018, and then the Fed announced 4 rate hikes for 2019, and it caused so much in the marketplace that the Fed eased back and said, okay, we're not doing a Fed rate hike in 2019. Okay. So we anticipate interest rates on housing to be in that mid-4 range.
Okay, which is still pretty good.
It's very good. You know, we've gotten very spoiled. Starting in 2005 or 6, when interest rates came below 5%, and have stayed there now for 12, 14 years.
Oh, I remember when that came down there, and I remember talking to a friend, and I'm saying, have you refinanced yet? And she was like, no. And I'm like, what's your interest rate? It was like 12%.
I remember us having that conversation.
Yeah, remember a long time ago, and I go, 12%. And it's because of a house that she had bought several years back when the interest rates were really high. Boy, you come down from 12 to 4% on a home mortgage interest rate, that's saving you thousands of dollars.
Thousands, right, depending on what the mortgage is.
Yeah, you just do it. There's absolutely no reason in the world not to.
Even if you had a 6% interest rate, I would
if you save yourself a couple points, right, usually, depending on how long you've been there. So,
and how long you plan to stay.
And how long you plan to stay. So your take then is that at least, and I'm asking for myself too, because we may be selling our house, is that at least through 19, the market should still remain strong. We don't see some bubble bursting or the market falling out or no one buying houses in Wilson County or anything like that.
Correct. And one of my lending friends said, and I love this statement, is a recession does not equal a housing crisis.
Okay, I was wondering.
And our mentality, because we're actually not fresh out of the recession. I mean, we came out of that in 11, you know, 11, 12. So that's 7, 8 years ago.
Right.
But that recession was so gruesome and hard on the housing, that's what people correlate a recession to now.
Right.
And that was an historic event. Most recessions are a blink. Some of them you don't even know happened. I remember the recession of 2001. I didn't even know we were in one.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kept selling real estate, so
it doesn't affect real estate. There can be economic downturn in some other realm of our marketplace, but it doesn't always. Plus, Nashville, I've always felt in Middle Tennessee, because of how great it is with everything coming here, a little bit insulated as opposed to maybe other parts in the country being hit harder. I don't know if that's still true.
I don't know if that's still true because we've never been this big.
Right.
But we have such a variety of
we're not dependent on just one aspect of the economy and all of that.
So, and at the end of the day, in Nashville, Tennessee, real estate equals housing. People need shelter. People get married, have babies, the babies go to college, they retire, they upsize, they downsize, they get married, they get divorced. It's all about shelter. And when you have shelter, you have a stable real estate market.
Christie, you are awesome. Every time you come on, I learn stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Can we see you again soon? Don't be away so long.
I won't. Okay, Mary Lane, I'm calling you sooner.
We'll do it again. Christie Wilson, thank you again for coming on. Appreciate it. I'll be back with Programming Note about tomorrow right after this.